The Forum of Lagos PDP local government chairman has rejected the outcome of Saturday's council polls and vowed to challenge the results in court. The chairman said the elections were anything but fair, alleging blatant subversion of the public will, voter suppression, and procedural manipulation.
In a statement released by the forum, the PDP local government chairmanship candidates declared results fabricated and undemocratic. They went further to describe the exercise as a state-endorsed hijack of democratic expression, confirming they'll file suit in court this week. Joining us for today's conversation is a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Adetokunbo Pearse. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Was the PDP, did the PDP have high hopes about this local government elections? At the time it was going into these elections, were there high hopes that this was going to be free, fair, and credible?
We didn't have high hopes that LISEC would do the right thing, but we had high hopes that we would do well in the election because we participated in every single LGA and LCDA, all the 57 units. And we had candidates for chairman and candidates for councillor in all of them. And they were very prepared, well-funded, well-trained, and given the fact that the political climate is very unfavorable to APC, the ruling party, we felt that people would vote for us, and indeed people did vote for us. And that is why the suppression and subversion was so intense, because the people came out to vote. The voter turnout was low, but the few people that came out to vote against the APC. And that is why we feel aggrieved that we had actually done very well, and the results that came out do not reflect the real results. If the real results were reflected, we would have won a whole number of chairmanship seats as well as councillors.
So how do we know this? How do we know that the results were not free, fair, and the election was not free, fair, and credible?
Well,
and that many people voted for the PDP as opposed to the APC?
Well, a number of things happened in the sense that we can see reasons why we are complaining. That it was not fair, it was not open, it was very undemocratic. First and foremost, people went to their polling units where they voted for years, and they couldn't find their name. You couldn't vote. Their polling unit had been moved somewhere else, and they were not informed. A classic example is a former deputy governor of Lagos State, Honorable Kofo Bokunakrele, who went to our own polling unit. Out of frustration, she said she should cancel the whole election because where she'd voted for years, she couldn't find her name. So that was one. People went to the polling units, couldn't find their name. We had candidates who were listed, registered with LISEC, candidates, and they themselves were not listed by INEC to be elected. All sorts of things were happening. And then you had the issue of violence, intimidation. I can tell you that the only councillor that we had from a local government in Abuja, around the University of Lagos area, he was so afraid for his life because he was threatened. For weeks, they've been raiding his area, carrying his supporters, taking them to the police station, throwing them in jail, just because they wanted him to step down. They felt that he was going to win because he had just left APC. And he got the ticket in PDP. And they were afraid of him. I called him a day or two before the election. He said he was not around. They're taking him somewhere to hide him because he was afraid for his life. That's how bad it was. Then there is also Iniwire. This is a practical example. Iniwire, between 4 and 7 ballot boxes actually were snatched and taken away by LASEC officials and supported by the police security. So it was a terrible thing, terrible. Then let me tell you something else that happened. In a polling unit where, when you have general election and you have huge voter turnout, you have 500 people voting in that polling unit. PDP candidates scored 297 votes in that polling unit. The results that came out now was 550 for APC and 297 for PDP. So the whole number of votes now came like 800 in a place where when there is high voter turnout, no more than 500. That's what was going on. They had to write the result because if they had published what really happened, the PDP guy had won with 297 votes. He had won. Everybody saw it. He saw it, and he was. But when the results came out, it was changed. The same thing happened in Igbogbo Bayeku in Ikorodu, where the polling unit, they always had something like 1,000 votes maximum all over that area. This time round, for the APC candidate, they probably 5,000 votes. When you add the PDP votes, which was like 300, and then the APC vote, which was 5,000, I mean, how do you explain that 5,300 because Labour got zero there? For whatever reason.
So that means nobody in the Labour Party
Even
voted
the
for
candidate
their
didn't
own
vote.
Nobody.
candidates.
The candidate didn't even vote for himself.
himself.
Zero. Now, if you add the PDP vote and the APC vote, you are looking at about 6,000 votes, 7,000 votes. In an area where they never had more than 1,000 or 2,000 votes. In an election where you have a situation where people didn't even come out to vote. The few people that came out to vote were people who wanted to vote against what is going on in the country now, who wanted to vote against APC. So they were determined that they were not going to let it happen. And so they wrote the results for themselves. That's why we are going to court.
Now, Mr. Pearse, you've highlighted quite a number of fault lines from the just concluded local government elections. You mentioned disenfranchisement. You mentioned also the incapacity of LASEC to conduct free and fair elections. But people watching this now will say, look, this is a countrywide issue, that it's not LASEC alone that suffers from this anomaly. And if you look at the pattern of local government elections across the country, in PDP states, it's always a clean sweep for PDP across all local governments and Labour Party states is the same. That how do we get, because this is, from the things you've told us and from what our correspondents observed on Saturday, it's a mockery of democracy. It's almost like an exercise in futility. Why do you even bother conducting elections in the first place, is what quite a number of analysts have said. How do we begin to deal with this holistically and nationally, and knowing and putting the importance in conducting local government elections in the, because if you look at local governments, they're the closest to the people. It's a they're doing a very important job, and these things have real life ramifications on people's lives. The House of Representatives, as we speak, they're currently looking at a bill to create a different electoral commission to handle local government elections across the country, because this state independent elections commission are only independent in name.
The whole electoral system of Nigeria has to be reformed. I've said it several times, and you are right. The local election commission in every state is totally defective, because
Even in
if it's
PDP states.
every state, if you have a PDP state, it's close sweep. APC state, same thing, Labour. You are right. So what must happen is there must be a reform whereby the state electoral board is made up of the different political parties. Because as it is now, one of the problems we had was that every member of LASEC who came to conduct the election is a card-carrying member of APC. So naturally, as you said, it will be the same in a PDP state. So what we must change is, in a local government election, and you know, I've worked and lived in the US for a long time, we know, very simple. By the way, this ballot voting with paper makes no sense in this 21st century. It doesn't make sense. When I went to vote, I saw how it could be easily manipulated. Here is the paper. If I had given them some bribe there, they just gave me 20 papers to go and thumb print. And you thumb print, and whereas in the US, all you have to do is, it's like you're using your phone, electronic. You go in and make a phone call. You know, so who you call, you have all the names on your phone. So choose one, call this person. Who do you want to vote for? Boom. You know, so simple.
But are we right for that? You know, we're still dealing with the challenges of
we are using this telephone.
Reverse, exactly.
We are using telephone. We are using internet. We are using all this modern technology. Look, let me tell you, the truth of the matter is, it's a farce. INEC is a joke. LASEC and local government electoral system is all a waste of time. Until the president of the country is not the one that appoints the INEC chairman and the INEC commissioners, we will not have a credible election in the country. And until the local electoral reform is made up of only the party in power in that state, there cannot be fairness, the election cannot be credible.
Who will drive this reforms
we have to change it.
you're proposing?
Well, look, this is a critical issue for Nigeria. It is the National Assembly that should drive it. But let me tell you, more importantly, in this system that we run, this presidential system, whereby the president is so powerful, so influential, we have to work hard and pray to God that we have a president who will make these reforms. This is why, personally, I'm a member of the People's Democratic Party, because we are the party of the 2014 confab asking for reform.
And
for
late
restructuring.
President Yar'Adua also said the process that brought me into office was
Exactly.
flawed.
And that is why, when Jonathan got there, he set up the 2014 confab. One of the recommendations of the confab is that the whole electoral system has to be reformed. The president, one of the reasons why I worked so hard for Atiku was he said in his own manifesto that if he became president, he would not be the one to choose the INEC chairman and the INEC commissioners until we have that. They used to have the same thing in Ghana. Until they change it, you're not going to have credible elections. So we have to change this in order for us to say our elections make some sense. As it is now, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So the president will just call. Can you imagine what year was it when Trump was running and was looking for votes, calling people all over? If you had one INEC commissioner that he appointed, he would just instruct him to change his results in his favor. And that would be it. And that's what happens in Nigeria. So until we change that, because what we are giving money to Yakubu and co to do is just waste of money. It is scandalous. We are still using ballot paper. So why do you, so they can snatch the box? You know, it's unfortunate that the president himself, our President Tinubu now, his own mantra, his philosophy is grab it, snatch it, run away with it. That's the ballot box. I mean, if you have a system like that, it's not going to change. So one of the things also that the PDP is fighting for is restructuring, and part of it is this system of voting. Until we do that, until we have a president who is interested in this change and can push it in the National Assembly, we're not going to have any difference. And we need this difference for us to even say we're a democracy. Right now, we are not a democracy because of the way that we conduct our elections.
All right. I mean, we've seen what happened in Lagos, and the PDP, like you've rightly mentioned, the local government chairman of the PDP are saying they're not going to equally accept the results. We did have one of the local government chairmen join us here.
Candidate.
A candidate, I beg your pardon. And also another one from, I can't recall now, was it the
Youth Party?
Youth Party, it's your local government.
No, another one joined us just yesterday.
Ecosi,
yeah.
Yes.
And he said
K2.
that just before him, he did see where monies were being doled out to people to quickly do the needful, thumbprint the APC, and he tried to do his best to fight. Do you trust Nigeria's judiciary, even if you are going to the courts? Or do you think it's an extended arm, like many have said, of the government, which has been allegedly said? Or do you think maybe the PDP should just call it quits, give up, and and look forward to and push heavily for reforms? Because you might go to the judiciary now and then nothing comes out of it. Then you now go back to the reforms. So which one should be done
I think
first?
we have to do both. We have to do both. We have to keep on pushing the judiciary. We have to keep on pushing the system. Let it be on record that we came with the proper results and the judiciary did not accept it. Let it be on record, and we keep on fighting. But more importantly, what I would advise for the sake of Nigeria and Nigerians is that when we elect our president, we should realize, look at their background, for goodness sake. Look at where they're coming from, what they have done before. What do they want to vote for? What do they want to push? What policies do they want to put in place when they get there? This is what I'm saying. We have in our manifesto in the PDP, the philosophy of the PDP is restructuring, is implementation of some of the recommendations of the 2014 confab. One of them is 1 year, 1 term, 6-year
President.
rotational presidency. Rotational. If we do not rotate the presidency in this country the way our country is, nobody from the Southeast will ever be president of Nigeria. You know why? The votes are not there. Look at the population. When you go to election, how many delegates are going to come from the Southeast? How many delegates? Very few, because of the number of states, number of local government areas, and so on. The North will always dominate. So whoever, if you become president, because the North wants you to be president, so they negotiate you. You're probably working for them. Until we have those changes in our constitution, and it's the PDP that has the philosophy, the commitment to bring about those changes. This is why we don't have anybody in PDP who will say, grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. Criminal way of doing elections. Ganduje said the same thing. He said the Edo template is what they're going to use throughout any election. What's the Edo template? The result comes out of the polling unit. When it gets to the coalition center, they change it to favor themselves. Until we have reform, proper reform, and it is only a president who comes in office. So we have hope. Whenever we have elections, it's like saying, because we lost the last election, we should give up. No, we are going to go again because the rigged election. Now we know that APC is so unpopular. It is very unlikely that they themselves believe that they can win in 2027. But what are they waiting for? Go to INEC, manipulate it, have the result turned to you. Last election, 2023, what happened? 31.5% of votes came in, and Yakubu announced Tinubu as the president. A criminal thing to do. So we are going to make sure that people know the difference between the candidates that are running. Whoever emerges from the PDP will preach the philosophy of restructuring, bring about some of these changes that will improve condition of life for Nigerians and will instill democracy in the country.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, sir. We'll continue to follow up with the next steps from the PDP regarding the local government elections.
Thanks for your time.